Because I was busy doing. If you can hear me over there, that's one thing about it. Walking away is gonna suck because I don't have my mic. It's inside. My mic is inside. What is going on, everyone? I was just fighting with some Maxis, aka Maxis. These things. I don't know if my wife showed these things. This. For whatever reason, didn't want to mount on Douglas Q Plus, whatever it was. It didn't want to go, so I got the old WMS out. I am in dire need of some new rims. As it turns out, I gave some away, like on tires at the beginning of the year, thinking that I was okay on rims. And I do have rims, like I can make it work. But with the, what's going on? Maxi's pad. With the Nationals coming up, it's not a big deal. I have rims, just maybe it's right sides, 10-inch rims. I'm a little low on. Mine are pretty whooped. Have you heard of AJC? They just became a new. Yeah, I have heard of them. I've yet to try them. Just not a thing in New York yet. I know that they got down south a little bit. They put on, or at least they put on a class or two, or sponsored a show down at not at Possum Kingdom, GKK, Georgia Karting Complex. I don't want to touch my new shirt. The boys that, hey, if anybody doesn't watch them, I know it's a more southern thing, but they'll be over on Facebook in half an hour here. Ultimate Karting Media. They sent me out some winnings, Dyno Cam t-shirts and such. Super pumped on that. Happy Thursday. Let's start off with something. Have you Chat GPT? I use to organize all my track notes, and I've got some. Oh, really? I've never actually messed with any. I will say any AI. I haven't messed with Chat GPT or Grok or any of those. I just haven't messed with them. I think it could be a useful tool, absolutely. But I'm a little older, and it's not that I'm against learning new stuff, but also like it's just it just seems like another thing to add into my should learn type of pile, and it's tough to find time to do what I'm doing. Reminds me of a mix between white Maxis and pinks and blues. The more you run them, the better they get. Actually, we have ended up using. Nice, cool. I was always curious. Now I gotta clean my hands. This is driving me nuts. This is the one thing about not having my mic. My wife wanders out. Maybe I can get her to bring my mic out to me, but I don't know that she can hear me either. Yeah, that would be great. The one thing that, being I'm in New York, and our typical tracks are, so basically you have, open tire, which is going to end up basically Vaga yellows. Typically around here. Not always, but typically. If you have a tire of choice, and like with UAS, for instance, when I'm running UAS, usually tire of choice is going to be Vaga yellow up here in New York. So what you know about, or what you may not know about Vaga yellows, is they're soft, and we soften them even more. We get them down to 20 duro, between 20 and 40 duro, give or take, for the tracks up here. The problem, it's not a problem, it's just as long as everybody's on them. Things like when you have a Reaper class, or, if we by chance had a Maxis class up here, the whites do give us that option, and I would absolutely love to try a set of Maxis whites, but our tracks are too soft to accept that, with the exception of dead summer. Like sometimes in the Black Groove, that it might work on some of this on some of the tracks, but typically the tracks that go real hard, they're Burris tracks, and we use 33s for that. So yeah, AJC, it's not for lack of desire to check them out. It's for a lack of finances to buy some and finances to run some. Even if I bought them, then I would have to go find a track, probably KB Speedway is close to me, to go and try and run them to see what I think of them, type of thing. But it's difficult, you know. It's as is. I feel as if I'm spread pretty thin, so it's tough. Glad to hear I'm back. Yeah, that didn't go well. Let's see. So, for those who don't know, I haven't posted up the Insta360 yet. Basically, I almost junked my Insta360. I put it on the rear wing, and the mount broke, and it went tumbling on an asphalt track. It scratched the lenses. I think I saved them, but it didn't do me any favors. But I only got a couple laps on it. They had tires moved up. As much as it's an asphalt track, they didn't want everybody, you know, just rubbering in the bottom groove, so they had tires set around it. And honestly, the track was fun, but it was rough for an asphalt track. I didn't expect to be bouncing around nearly as bad. I think the QC midgets or QT whatever they call them, they do better because they have suspension. But that's that. Hey, Dan Guild friggin' went flying around that place. Something like a 9.55 lap time. Best I got was like a 9.95, and that was in my heat race. But that was beginning couple laps before I got ungodly tight. Not pushing, just tight, just real heavy wheel. And then it was just like, this is Gob's a bite. But yeah, I haven't given up on the UAS stuff. Matter of fact, I'll be running UAS from here until my plan is I'm going on vacation next week. So this stream is not going to happen next week. I'll just go ahead and say it. I'll probably say it in the video I record for Sunday too. I'll be on vacation. I don't think it's not that I couldn't do it from the lake house that we rented. It's that I would want to do it outside or want to do it in if you don't know, if you've never met me in person, my voice is loud and it carries over water. So the last thing I want to do is upset people, you know, with a booming voice over water type of thing. So that's not happening. Anyway, yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, yeah. The schedule. I got it. Anyway. So coming off of vacation, the 23rd, I'll be on my, I'm running 2 classes. It's going to be AMS. It's John's dad's memorial race. So it's 50 laps in the clone. I think I'm going to run 375 just because I had a ton of weight on the cart. I was curious to see what it does without a ton of weight on the cart. And the 400 guys, they sometimes run a little rough. It's not that it's not possible in every class, but they're not afraid to drive into me, and I'm over it. And I'll be running also that day because it's such a long race. The memorial race is, I'll be running the UAS Open. There's a UAS race there. It's a quarter-point race, so I'll be running that there. And then I probably won't race until Nationals because I got to save my pennies, as it turns out, you know, or not turns out, but I was calculating some math on fuel mileage, and it's going to be on the light end, $400 in fuel to and fro. On the heavy end, probably 5. So I gotta amass that amount of money plus entry plus food. You know, it's a big bill coming up. So chances are the 23rd is the last time I'm gonna race until I go to Nationals, which is mid-September. Then I'm gonna run Nationals, and then I'll be running. My intent is to run the 2,000 to win race, the Reaper race, at Dreamfield Speedway. I've never been there before. I know some people have. They put on a 500 to win race earlier this year. But with the exception of that Reaper race, the next 2 times I run, I am going to run UAS. That's where I was going with all a long-winded answer. Let's see here. Also uploaded my manufacturer manager. Interesting. Very technical. Yes. Yeah, that's cool. Vegas is definitely a regional thing, much like Burris. I mean, with the exception of a couple tracks down south, you know, it's mostly Maxxis, mostly Reaper. until you get down to Florida. So Florida, Vaga, Maxis, depending, what track you're running. Max, or obviously Vegas Series and all that stuff. And then as you get into the Carolinas, you run into your Maxis in your Reapers, and then up north here we are 3 brands, so we do get some Reaper races up here, but mostly you're going to run Burris or Vaga Yellows. AJC just hasn't made their way out here, as far as I can tell. I haven't seen it. I did see some Cobras running on Asphalt when we were running that track last weekend. Micron data when you get uploaded. Nice. Sounds way too technical for an old dude like me. Probably make everything super simple. It's just take me to, actually learning the system of rough driving is a problem. Yeah, I'm a Rubbins racing kind of guy. I've been trying to drive, minding my P's and Q's while learning the clone system, while learning the clone etiquette, while learning the clone this and that. I'm not nearly as aggressive. I don't mind being bumped. I don't mind being rubbed, but I also don't like being slammed into. Like there is a stark difference. Now, accidents happen. I know that, but when it's the same cart or same couple carts that continue to drive through you instead of around you, when I know that I've raced them with respect. Then again, when I get aggressive, if somebody comes at me back, I get it. I don't get mad about it. I don't like to be dumped. I don't mind to be I won't say it does. I'm like anybody else. I can accept if I get moved up the hill a little bit, or a little bump and run or something like that, as long as you don't wreck me. That's and I know there's a knife's edge there. I know it's a fine-tuned thing that you can either overstep your bounds a little bit and wreck you or what. But when a couple carts seem to be the same ones, you just blast into you, you get over it real quick. So no, I got a Bama. Moving around last time didn't hurt any. I have a Bama 270. So 2-stroke, 270 cc. Oh, right. I can't tip you guys sideways. I always forget that. But methanol carbs. Yep. Radiator. I always find that funny. Talk to my peeps down in Pennsylvania. They say radiator. It's a radiator. But then again, I say bagel. I've heard that's wrong. Well, it's bagel. I'm like, pretty sure it's bagel. So I'll only pick on it a little bit. So yeah, 270 cc. It is like I said, on methanol. There's electronic valve on it. So I have it. The power valve is controlled. Oh boy, what is it? I think it's all the way closed. The clutch engages at like 6,900 RPM. If I remember correctly, 6,900 RPM, and then the power valve stays shut until like 72 or 7,500 RPM. I think it goes. Does it go 50%? There's a program to it. You can program it to make it do what you want to do it. And I want to say that it goes, the power valve is wide open by the time I hit like 8,500. Maybe it's $9,000, somewhere in there. So essentially the power valve gives you better bottom end. What it does is, a normal 2-stroke on the dyno goes like this, and it peaks, and that's that. I mean, it builds great power, and then it peaks, and then it dives. It shuts off. What that power valve does is takes this and turns it into this. So when it's making power, it curves up. It's still, once you get out of your flex length, which is the distance between the backside of your piston and the start of your actual pipe where it starts to Y out, that's called flex. Once you exceed that, where that adjustment is, you can do, different lengths in order to make it pull a bigger RPM range. Oh, jeez, got crap on the new shirt. Bigger RPM range or lower RPM range, it does shut off. Like it'll cycle over. Like it'll maintain a speed, but it will stop drawing and pulling into the corner. It's AI. It's really crazy how. Yeah, that's now that one thing somebody said that about AI is not saying there isn't AI, but what they said was what we currently have is technically not AI because it's not thinking for itself. What it is thinking quicker than we could ever humanly conceive. It's taking all the information from, we'll tell you this is the World Wide Web. It's taking everything that's on that, and then it's making decisions like this, or just it's taking that information and binding it together. And I was just like, all right, I hear what you're saying. I guess I'm not gonna dispute the term AI, but I get what you're saying, that it's not like, we're interfacing with it. It's making decisions quicker than we ever could from information that's already been out there, which is, I guess with how the brain works. So technically, maybe I could be wrong. It's just something I was like, hey, yeah. It's a bagel. It's a bagel. I know that bothers people. I don't know what other words I say that are, yeah, bagel. Oh, really? Am I going to go to the store and get a bag of groceries? No, I'm going to get a bag of groceries. That's bagel. I know. I always think that I don't have an accent, but then I hear other people from New York, like I'm Western New York, and maybe I've discussed this before. Somebody thought I was from was it Minnesota or Wisconsin? Wisconsin. Somebody thought I was from Wisconsin, and at first, I'm like, where do you get that from? Like I'm in New York. Like that's weird. It's not if you think about it because of how close we are to the Canadian border. I'm sure that I share a bit of the Canadian accent because I'm only 2 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours from the Canadian border. So I'm like, I could see that you're top of the country. That dialect just kind of, and it inflects itself in your. So I'm like, it's not as random to say that, as long as it's not Minnesota, Minnesota. I just thought it was weird. So yeah, I was struggling. I don't know why that Q Plus rim was such a bear. I could not get a left rear to seat on a Q Plus. The rights went, they're Q Plus. Yeah, last night I just kind of left it. I walked away. I was mad, not mad, but it's just like I've never had a super hard time mounting tires. Like I hear people gripe about it. I'm like, all right, sometimes it takes a bit more, especially Vaga yellows. And I should do a video on that. Heating up the bead and everything and getting the tire warm out in the sun or whatever it is helps it be a little more malleable to mount. But I especially left rears, I guess I've never really had a super problem until last night. And I will say this, that's the same rim. The WMSs, they mount up. WMS, they mount up pretty good. I don't even know if they make these things anymore. I know that everybody is, I had people not gripe, they said they didn't like the black rims, the GTRs, not being round and stuff, and they went with the Van Ks. I don't even think I own a Van K. They're nice rims, I just don't have any. Any more trips to PA this year? Not that I know of, but you never know. I was thinking about the Hunterstown race. Is that October 4th? My wife wants to go RVing one more time, and maybe that conflicts with the Hunterstown Reaper race. Or no, maybe yeah, I can't remember. I think I was going to play it by ear. Depending on my finances and what I can do. The Hunterstown race is like the 19th or something like that of October. Yeah, put on, Tony and Missy Boots are putting that on at Hunterstown. I don't know if I can swing it. We'll see finances wise, schedule wise, because I do have the family stuff to do. But I think my intent is to run October 4th in New York, and then we're doing RVing like the next weekend, and then it was going to be really my finances, whether or not I was done for the year or not. I had considered going down to that Hunterstown race, the Reaper race down in Hunterstown. Maybe my 25s will be nice and hard by then. Yes, that's it, Master Mayhem. Yep. Isn't that at that big track? Yeah, that which sounds like fun on the open. I cannot tell a lie. I did Kart Classic a couple times when it was down to the big paperclip there, Trailways. That was a lot of fun. All day event though. That was the one thing about the state racing, you know, the bigger events is that when you're a regular Saturday night racer, which I like to consider myself, just, you know, I typically run on a Saturday night, is when you get there at 8 in the morning and then, man, it's sometimes it's 2 in the morning by the time you get out of there. Oh. What is the difference in my tire game for winter racing versus summer? Depends on what tire you're running. At least what tire I'm running. Heavier on chemical, and two things come into the fold. Like, you know, I'm a Track Tech guy. I'm a Track Tech sponsor channel. During the summer, it's lighter preps. You're gonna, you know, I'll just be using orange, or I'll be using something like Ruby AT2, depending on track surface, something like that. Something lighter. Black sand, a lot of black sand. Black sand really goes. But as the cooler months come, 2 preps really come up, and it is SA Grape and SQS. Both are made for colder weather. Both are way more aggressive than what I would run during the summer. Also, if you're running something like a Vaga Yellow, for instance, I would run less chemical inside. I would say run, 2 ounces on right sides. I should really do, most people do CCs or whatever. I should probably start doing that. Help out some people that don't do ounces. Anyway, I've always done ounces. 2 ounces outside, 1 ounce inside. I'll go very light on internal, on, say, a Vaga Yellow during the summer, if I'm going to run it, to whereas when the cooler months come, the fall, the wintertime type of stuff, I'm not afraid to go them. So those same outside tires, I would go 3-4 ounces per tire, and then half that in the lefts. I know there's different formulations. People like their, whatever percentage they like to cut down for internal prep. But yeah, basically aggressiveness. Being it's cooler, you can run softer tires and more aggressive preps. That's, the basics of it. You know what I could be doing while I was standing here is putting the valve cores back in the tires. Yeah, I was going to do that. I picked one up and I didn't. I have to remember I'm not wearing my mic though, so I don't want to walk away from the camera for too awful long. Tell you what, with the tool that I have for mounting tires, it's just a long tube. It's like I'll show you. This thing. It just gets you away from the tire. I like that a lot. So obviously you hook up that onto your tire and then just open the gang valve, you want to call that? Yeah, just open the ball valve, and everything your compressor's got right into the tire to snap those beads real quick. But you better have your valve cores out, or else it doesn't work nearly as well, and then you're all bunged up. It will only inflate so much before it stops, and then you stand there scratching your head for a second, wondering how you screwed up, and then realize that you didn't take your valve cores out. Don't ask me how I know. But yeah, I might be doing a video on Maxxis for Sunday. Now, I don't know exactly what I want to say in the video, but I do have some ideas of where I want to go with it. There's no hate there. I like all tires. I think think they're being an open tire guy for so long in UAS. I appreciate whatever tire works best for whatever situation. You know, some Burris are faster than everything else at certain tracks. Maxxis are faster than Reapers. You know, at certain tracks, Reapers have their place. AGC, they may be a fast tire. I like them. Are they fast? Yeah, I'll run them. Cool. It's you know, as long as they're not bricks that don't grab the track at all, I'm cool with that. I don't think, you know, that some people gripe about the Reaper. You can have your opinion on it. That's cool. I felt as if I had all the grip I needed when I ran them down at not Penns Creek, but Selins Grove or Celians Grove. Is that one of the weird things you Pennsylvanians say? Celians Grove or something. So we have some 2023s here that are next to new. I dug them off of my shelf. What's nice about these is I'm going to, so at John's, it's a UAS, so we can run open tire. I'm not going to run them the whole night, but I got a brand new set of Maxis sitting right here. I'm going to scuff those at John's. These, however, these ones have been on track. So that's nice. I don't, you know, they already have the scuff done to them. So basically I just have to surface them and re-roll the ones I want to re-roll. But I did flip these ones. These are going to be like practice tires. These are basically for nationals. But there's a good edge. There's a bad edge. It's not that bad, but Hunterstown, that's too fresh a tire for the day when I went to Hunterstown in 2023. My lack of knowledge on Maxxis, I know that, you know, I talked to Chris Harris a little bit, and he's just like, oh, Maxxis are easy. They may be for somebody who runs them all the time, but I got my issues with making them fast. I have learned, it's just not applied everything that I think I need to do to them. That's the only thing. That's the application, because I just don't have to run them. Kirk, show, Master Kirk. Yep, BAPS. That's it. Yep. That big track. I love big tracks on my open. You know, those of you who don't know, you know, caught the days of Paradise Speedway, so big fast tracks. I want to say that it's a Burris only race. Am I mistaken on that? I don't know if Rung What You Brung or UAS is open tire, or if you have to run. I'd definitely be on. I heard it's pretty aggressive, like 33s or even a bit. Hi, Bill. 33s are a bit too soft. Like 55s would be choice, but everybody was relegated to running 33s. I mean, it evens it out, but, you know, guys with a little backup of tires, you know, run something in the 24 region or whatever. Oops. Okay. Oh yeah. It's nobody. I get you. Yep. Tires. You know, one thing that's bummed me out is I gotta find another left rear. I got plenty. I got a whole bunch of Vega yellows that I got left rears. I can break down some of those. Those are whooped. But I went to mount one more of these 23s Maxxis, and the valve core is broken. Not the valve's broken. The actual valve that holds the valve core is broken. I went to put air in it. I'm like, whoa, that's not gonna work. Nice. Yeah, I had lots of fun. Like, so last weekend I went to the Watkins Glen race too. So I did Asphalt myself on Saturday, and then Sunday we went to Watkins Glen. Now, I have my opinions. I think the next gen car sucks, but it's nothing nobody else has said. It was follow the leader up until tires became strategy, and SVG just waxed them, and that was fine. Blaney had I bought a Blaney shirt because I'm a Ford guy. I decided that I'm just going to have a whole bunch of different Ford drivers apparel. So I bought a Blaney shirt, and he was doing awesome at the beginning of the race. But SVG could reel him in, but you could tell even where I was in the S's, you could tell that it stopped. Like he couldn't push. The wake on those cars is so bad that it gives not that we need SVG winning by 20 seconds or anything like that, but also you can't do anything with a leader. I mean, it's something that we don't, you might get a little aero tight in karts, but it's not that. It's, oh, goodness. That was going to win at Tony Stewart Speedway. And nice. Well, good luck, man. Yeah. It's a bummer, a little bit of a bummer being up where I am. I love, I like the people around here. I like the track owners. I like the promoters. I like I like racing in general. Sometimes I do have what's that? Oh shoot. Fear of being left out. FOMO. Whatever it is. Anyway, missing out. There we go. Fear of missing out. Seeing all those big races going on down south, hearing of all those tracks, and I just like, yeah, that'd be awesome to go see that at Tony Stewart Speedway. All those tracks. I'm just so far north that for me to come run those is just out of the question. There's no way I could. Well, there's a way I could do it. If I raced every single weekend and I had, I converted all extra funds that I possibly could to racing, I could come do it. But that's a good way to get a divorce. Oh, what do we got here? All right, I got the valve cores in the Maxxis tires. I'll wet my whistle. I'm going to drag the open over here. Because I got to move over the... I'm trying to get stuff done. I leave for vacation on Saturday. So I'm trying to get more stuff done to where I can not be freaking out when I come back off of vacation. Move the open over here. Look at my exhaust pipe. There you are. Yeah, sorry for, sorry, but I like to, be face to face with you guys and talk all the stuff and everything. But I do have stuff to do on this, so. Try not to get my new shirt all dirty. I wanted to wear it because I wanted to support the guys that Dyno Cams for putting up a giveaway for the Ultimate Kart Media guys. Oh, shit. Shoot, I didn't say that. I don't swear on this channel. Every time I slip up, I feel bad because I made it a thing that I wasn't going to swear on this channel, but sometimes at least that wasn't like an F-bomb. That would have been bad. What are you doing? You going to come apart? Oh, there we go. A lot of colors. I'm going to have to get a regular. Is it turning? Oh, it's turning. Okay, we're good. I switched, I had to switch gears. I had to go to a 19 tooth because AMS is so small. And it changed the offset on my, on where my gear lines up. Typically, if I run a ring gear, it's not a problem, but this is definitely a problem. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to leave you be. Not that I have to be in camera the entire time, but also trying not to be rude. I was talking to my motor builder. Nice. If you love racing, you love racing. I wouldn't be against, road course kart stuff. I don't think it's where my passion lies, but then again, it's where you started. That kind of dictates that a bit. I will say this, that this kart right here, I did not wash. It was kind of nice. Am I afraid to wash my kart? Am I, is it, I think it's more of a, lazy man's attitude that, oh, now I got to wash my kart. But I know people like to say, oh, only go racing's for dirt and, ovals are where it's at. And I agree. Would I be opposed to going road racing? Absolutely not. I think that, it's, I don't know what the term would be. It's, same song, different tune. Tires are going to be king. Money, obviously, people with the best of the best. I saw a whole thing where they change engines like they're going out of style, and it's just like to have max horsepower and this and that. I think more of a finely tuned thing to where it's dirt allows some. It's debatable. Does your knowledge, driving ability and knowledge and kart setup, it's all relative to what you're running. It makes you wonder where it's arguable to say that it takes more driver in asphalt because of lift points, throttle, arcs, everything, the way you're attacking the corner. But it's also, the best of the best is, the parts and this and that. Yeah. I just love dirt, so I would race it, but, I got no beef with anybody that wants to do it. What did I do with my 1/4 inch? That's not it. That's not it either. Oh, wait. That'll work. All right, guys. I'm here. I gotta loosen this rear. But hey, what's going on? Dinner's calling, Ben. Yeah, you too, Bill. Yeah, just what is going on? I am currently trying to loosen up my rear hub, my rear gear hub, because I need to move it over a little bit. I changed clutch baskets and drivers, and it's messed with my alignment. Is that going to be loose enough? Sorry, guys. Armpit shot. Trying to hold the pipe up and trying to... Come on. There we go. That should be loose enough. Okay. Here you go, hammer. Yeah, I don't know about a big hammer. I got a hammer. It's not that big. It's big enough to get the job done. I don't think it has to go over that far. It's just ever so slightly off. Ooh, getting better. Probably should do the proper thing and actually, get the piece of aluminum out. Yeah, I might want to do that because I think this is going south on me in a hurry. I was hoping I could only had to tap it over a tick, but I'm gonna have to actually do it the right way. There's quite a bit of cob in me. better than it was, but it's still got a little, well, that might be the centered. It might be the, I got a real cheap, like full, not cut out rear gear. It's just a, you know what I speak of. I have another one here. It's one of these doodads. The super cheapies. I don't mind running them on the open because you can kind of be abusive on them. Now, these cuts aren't always dead on, and you can hear it. So, click, click, click. It's not bad. Might be all right. I think it's this. I did, because that's pretty. Just by eyeball look and by looking at the teeth in the the thing, maybe a tick over. No, man, it's gonna make me take it apart and do it right way. No, I was so in my opinion, a little bit. I couldn't only take out. I'll sit down for this. Here's what we did to it. I will tell you what we did to it because here. Oh, let's get down here. All right, so I was going on little to no knowledge. So things I did to my cart in order to make it asphalt ready. I changed the caster a little bit, scaled it, gave it more left. Basically 60-ish% left, which is fairly normal for me to run anyway. The air pressure was a thing. I think I was too low on air pressure. I was just kind of, I guess my neighbor is just like, yeah, I'm about 10. I heard that people were upwards of 14, 15. I actually, for the feature, went up to, I think it was a 2-pound split. I think it was 13 and 11 I was going to try, which would have helped. And then I took all the cross I possibly could have. I was sitting at about 58 when I showed up there. So I didn't get to move much because there wasn't that much room there. So if I had to guess, I probably was sick or got it down to 56-ish. Lower cross, trying to get the thing unbound. And then I had a left front on my left rear, and it was moved way out, like way out. Yeah, I got to move that back in. We can look at it right here. Look at how far out that is. Yeah, that's how I got to move that back in for dirt. But that's how far. Here's where I run it for dirt. And that's how far I had it out for asphalt. So I don't know that I was chassis bound as much as I was, and maybe a little bit. I won't completely disagree with you on that, but I think it was more tires and adjustments. And the unfortunate thing to me was that the plug wire, the boot, the boot goes down like this. The plug wire broke right off at the boot. I came out, parade lap. I gave it a blat going down the straight, and it just shut off. And I coasted off, and before I even coasted off, I'm like, what the heck? And I look over, and there's my plug wire just sitting there dangling. I was just like, oh, well, that's supposed to be connected. I guess my night's over. But yeah, I could have been chassis bound a little bit. The only thing with that was, I put more rear stagger in it too. We swung for the fences. Like it was when the tires came in, I got pretty bound up, bound up. It would turn, but it was a bear to turn. Once the tires heated up, I was stuck like glue to the surface. It was, you wish for that kind of grip on dirt, to where, especially in open, like if it was dirt, that would have been serious. But being it was asphalt, I was way too tight. Not pushing. It don't want to take down the fence, but it was tight. It was real heavy steering wheel. Very, very hard to get through the corner. You know, I got asked a couple times if I got tired. I didn't feel as if I was tired. This happened in a clone race too. So it was a 30-lap clone race, and people from the outside, it looks like maybe I'm getting tired. I'm fairly athletic. I work out every day. I don't think that's the case. I think it's that when the cart stops working where it was working, I try something different, and it gets slower, and that's not me purposefully trying to slow it down. So when I was, for instance, on the asphalt, I was trying to run high and then cut down. Well, when it got tight, my ability to cut, to kind of nip the corner disappeared. The first couple, you know, when I was right in the mix there at the beginning of the race, I was able to do that. And the more the cart gained grip, I was unable to do it. It wouldn't cut anymore. It would stay up the hill. And then I would, you know, basically lose the nose a little bit, and it would push. So what I started doing was lifting a little earlier, wrapping the bottom, and then getting a heck of a drive off the corner. And I didn't fall out of the seat. I didn't, you know, I wasn't tired or anything like that. I just changed the line to adapt to what the cart was going to give me. I still had the eventual winner, Dan, behind me, and I didn't want to give up all the positions. You know, he did an amazing job, though. Whatever adjustments he made to that thing. I mean, I went from I beat him in my heat race to him running down the leader on the last lap, passing him for the win. You know, that's good for him, man. Asphalt, yes, Asphalt is a completely different animal. It was, and now I'm left there. I had a real good time. I prefer dirt. But it didn't make me hate it. Like, you know, they talked about maybe having, you know, 1 or 2 more races down there next year. And I'm like, I don't know about 2, but if there's, you know, if there by chance is a quarter point or something like that, I'm going to be running points again next year for UAS, because I fully intend to go to Tennessee. Is it Morrison Speedway to Tennessee? That's close enough to me. I'll try and do that. But I may go back. It's only like an hour and 15 minutes from my house, so that's even, you know, it's that makes it okay too. So my opinions on that. I was gonna do a video on the asphalt experience, but unfortunately, I lost my Insta360. Didn't lose it, but it fell off the wing and it damaged the lenses. I think I've kind of fixed it, but I got a little bit of footage. I'm going to make it into a reel or a short or a TikTok or whatever you want to call them. It's just going to be me. And hey, everybody, don't lean out of your cart unless your cart isn't turning. And then you do as I say, don't do as I do. Oh, it was terrible. I was leaning something here, but you also can see me bounce all over the place. So there's that. Yep. I think the oil's changed. Everything's good to go on the clone cart. That should be scale. Oh, my pool just turned on. I was like, what is that? Yeah. That's a little more of a project. I don't want to do that with you guys on here, lining that chain up. If I do, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'll probably take it apart, do it the correct way. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. And I think the footage with the Insta is going to be kind of fun, only because when it fell off, like it tumbled a little, and then the one camera was pointing at us, so it goes, and then you see us, you know, so for everything, I try and look at it on the positive side of things. For it almost junking my camera that I got for my birthday this year, it went as well as it could have. Yes, that one, that October 18th. Yep, the Halloween bash or whatever it is. Yeah, it depends on finances. and it depends on if my wife has anything scheduled for them, because there is, we might be doing what's called Fright Fest. So that's at Darien Lake, Six Flags Darien Lake. It's near me. It's like an hour from me. We have season passes there, and we'd be going to that. So that might fall on that. So if I can make it, I'm going to come down. But there's a real good chance that I won't. There's a real good chance. I don't even know when the Northeast Divisional is or where it's at for UAS. I may or may not run that. It really depends. Depends on how Nationals goes. I'm really hoping for that track to be a little slick. I don't. I've been longing for a UAS race, a UAS National, that the track doesn't lend itself to people who are used to super gripped up tracks. If I'm saying that correctly, I want, it's selfishness. It's total selfishness. I would like to see them struggle as much as I struggle on, say, a Maxxis track. I think that would be. I think it would. If you lower the corner speeds, I think it'll make for better racing, closer racing. Nobody can run away with it. And for selfish reasons, the slicker stuff is, I'm used to it. Or I'm not super. I won't say I'm super good at it, or I'm faster. I'm not. That's not what I'm claiming at all. But every time I've gone to a national, it really has been a super gripped up, a track that lends itself to some of the faster guys down south. It would be fun to see it, if for nothing else, for it to be a slick track that everybody would have a hard time getting a hold of. It would be amusing to me. That's all I'm saying. I look like WD-40. Okay. I mean, I use WD-40. I have WD-40 right over there. I like it. Enjoying the channel. Great. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Planning on going to Nationals next month. Yes. Yep. Still on it. Matter of fact, Doug, one of my best friend, Doug, had just booked the hotel room 10 miles from the track. So it's a tick away, but it's okay. Real good rate. And our buddy Jamie, I don't know, Jamie doesn't watch these. Jamie's coming up from Florida, supposed to be coming up from Florida to go boys trip, halfway across the states to go race with us. Should be a lot of fun. But yeah, that's still my intent. Matter of fact, I just mounted up Maxis in case the track goes that way. I'll probably bring my Burris. I don't think 11s. I probably won't bring my 11s. I'll bring my 33s. I'll bring my Vega yellows. I'll bring the Maxis pinks and blues. But if I had to guess, as much as I just said that I would like to see a slippery slope, a slippery surface to get a hold of, if I had to bet, the track's going to go fast. It's going to get packed. It's going to bite up. And just with, what we do to our tires, the amount of skill that is coming there, I think that it's probably going to bite up. It's probably not going to go as slick as I'd like it to. Dry slick would be okay. Also, I think that much the same as, NASCAR, off throttle time makes for great racing. If you have to lift, if you have to, negotiate a tricky track, I think, we don't want dangerous. We just want to put our skills to the test. I think that would make for better racing, in my opinion. Make sure we meet up and let Gil. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I haven't seen Gil in quite a few years either. Is there a regional UAS this Saturday at Delaware Speed? Oh, nice. Yeah. It's 12 and a half hours away from me, so I will not be going. Plus, I'm going to go on vacation on Saturday, so I will be spending time with my family at a lake house. That'll be a lot of fun. Nationals is at Lincoln Speedway, isn't it? I thought I read it was. Nationals is at Delaware Speedway in Iowa this year. And then I believe it's Morrison, Tennessee next year. Yeah. That's UAS Nationals. I don't know what other, if they're, was Morrison Lincoln, or was Delaware once called Lincoln? Somebody said that. Maybe somebody said that. Did they change the name? It was once called something, and now it's Delaware. I don't know for certain. But that's, just my, I don't want to say selfish. I'll take that back. It's not selfish. Selfish for entertainment value. I'm not looking for the betterment of my own performance, as I am going for the fun of it. I am going for the love of UAS racing and the love of the people involved in UAS. I just want to see a more difficult track to get a hold of to make for awesome racing. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, the starter windows are. Oh, I have my panels in here. My panels are out in the. I'm down to one. Oh, I told you about that, Doug. the other one is currently at Blairsville Speedway somewhere. When I panel smacked my buddy Ron when I was coming by him. That's my fault. It went poop, and that's the end of that. And Blairsville is closed. Somebody may take it over, but they're closed. They're not running at Blairsville. So somewhere in the dirt at Blairsville Speedway in Blairsville, PA, there is a starter window made by Doug here at DZ Machine, and it says Kart 6T3 on it. So if somebody finds that, you can either keep it and have a souvenir, or you know how to get a hold of me. Yeah, oops. I did put the other one. I put the other one on the same panels. I just didn't use the same method. I drilled holes, and I used zip ties. It doesn't look as nice, but being the holes were already, it pulled the rivets out of it. It wasn't going to work again, so I made do with what I had on hand. So I zip tied her on there, and then it'll work. It'll stay. Yeah, no, I don't worry about them. I only have the one panel, unless I have a backup panel, or I need a one for backup. I don't need anything engraved, but I appreciate, you doing the first couple for me. I think they're amazing, really cool. And I lost the nuts again to show anybody those things. This shop is a disaster. I'm surprised I can find anything. Like, sometimes I go to the track, I'm like, oh no, did I forget that? No, I got it. And then, or did I put it in? I might have put it in my bolt bin. I might have put them in my bolt bin just in case I needed it or somebody needed them. I don't have studs on these, on the clones though, so they're just bolt down in. But yeah. Yeah, I don't say honored. I'm just a goofball. You'll know when you meet me in person. You'll know that this isn't an act. That I laugh and giggle and chuckle and got weird mannerisms. The only difference between me on here and me in real life is that there's a high chance I'm swearing. I mean, I'm not like a sailor, but if you've gotten quite used to me not swearing, that's on purpose. That's because I don't swear on here. Now, if you see me at the track and all of a sudden the F-bomb comes out and you go, I'm forewarning you. I try not to be crazy with it because I've heard kids. My wife was working in a school, the high school, and she still works in a school, but she worked in high school, and she says it's just out of control. It's just, obviously she lives with me, so she, somebody who swears, but she doesn't swear all that much, a little bit, but she's like, the kids just, it's everything, and oh, goodness. Ooh, that is an excellent question. Oh my. Ben, if budget wasn't a constraint, what clone racing related product, tool, or service would you buy for your program? Ooh. Now, I hate to put the emphasis on tires. Oh man, no, but I really, me personally, I would probably buy a new cart. Only because this one's a 16 and that one's a 22, and that the scythe is not ideal. If I could have something like a Tricon, a Charger, a Premier, modern, just so I could be up to date on that. Now, if you take like chassis out of it, I'm gonna say something tires probably. And honestly, like if I couldn't have just like a boatload of tires, that would be probably the most ideal thing. A piece of equipment might be a tire cutter. If I could have like a Jones or something, I don't know the other brand is, just to not even thin them out, but true them up. I think that people who can, that I know, I've yet to master the hand cutting, but I can see the advantages in that of trueness, depth, things like that. I think that there's speed to be had there. There would be something absorbent that I can't afford now that I definitely would do. But personally, if somebody says, hey, here's $5,000, what are you going to do with it? I probably would upgrade my chassis first thing. I know that you can win on anything, and I don't, I won't say that. It's nice to have new stuff. It's nice to start from a very good base, and just my opinion. But yeah, well, mini gears, yeah, there's that too. Yeah, Doug, yeah, no doubt. That's it, and it's cool. There's almost no awkwardness whatsoever. You feel as if you already know people because of the passion that you have for what we do. And it is in the clone world, but really the UAS group, the open, we're all kind of a little in the head. So it's it's real easy to get along with one another. But yeah, mini gears, that's a good point, man. That's I'm going to be working on that over the winter. I think I have a line on a good deal on some. If they don't sell them before, I can afford to buy them off them. But I hopefully going into next season on the clone, I will have mini gears. I would absolutely love to upgrade my chassis, or at least chassis. The open likes the Recon. Aero Rock chassis. Nice, yeah. Sweet, yeah. That's it's after an hour. Just noticed. I would say I was going to do a video eventually on small manufacturers. Kart chassis. Now it's you learn a lot. Like the Fortex and Fuel guys when they had Boomer on there from Charger, learning that he has a chassis dyno, and they it gives a reading of what the I think it's Jones chassis dyno shows what pressures and stuff that they can show you exactly. And if you want something that was the same, if you found success with a chassis that you had before, they can look that number up. I think that's amazing. I think that's super duper cool. But you also the repetitiveness, the repeatability of Phantom is awesome. Also, you cannot discount the hand technique of people like Premier that hand welded, and I think Charger hand welds. I think ever pretty much hand welds for Phantom, but the artistry that goes into welding. There are a lot of small time chassis manufacturers, even if it's 1 to 2 to 100, that really know what they're doing, that really put their love into their passion. And I think there's the only thing that would dissuade me from going with a smaller manufacturer ever is availability of parts. Spindles. I like to smash into stuff. I don't usually bend spindles, but I have bent spindles. And you want to go with a manufacturer that you can get replacement parts for. That's other than that, I think that the small manufacturers aren't at a disadvantage. I don't think that's a thing. I think that you could almost argue that there's more attention to detail. There's more desire for the small manufacturer to put into the love of their cart and to work with you, on a one-to-one basis. But obviously there's no denying that the Tricons, the Chargers, the Premiers, the whatever of the world, they're all great. I love them all. Mass produced or not, all great. Love them. Let's see, in 2 weeks. Yes. As soon as the Nationals are over, plan on building a handful of wallets. Nice, very cool, man. But yeah, on that note, you're correct. I will forget, and I will keep on yammering, and I shouldn't do that. So thank you very much, guys, for stopping by. Chances are I'm going to do a video on Maxxis. I'm just going to talk in general. I don't have a ton of experience of it. You're going to find that out in the video because of what I want to discuss, and it's more of a discussion. They are my Achilles heel. Not in a bad way. They just are my Achilles heel. They're just not a tire that I know that well. And I kind of want to talk about that and talk about some of the processes to make them fast, all I've heard, what I've tried, stuff like that. So probably a video on Maxxis coming Sunday. And then, yeah, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks doing this stuff. I appreciate you coming by. Thank you very much for making lives fun. But, yeah, a 2-week break. Yeah, excellent. All right, man. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.